Hello, Certified Wrestling Podcast. How we doing tonight? It's your host, Certified Hustler. We have a very, very special guest tonight. I love bringing these type of talents on the show. Jarod Fritz. I said that right? Yeah, I knew I said
Yeah,
that.
you absolutely
For some
did.
reason I wanted to call you Fitz. I don't know why. I've seen this man in action quite a bit. We'll go down that road. He is currently a referee for NWA, National Wrestling Alliance, NWA Power, and NWA USA. I'm not sure. You're on the independent scene too still, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, of course. So he does take bookings. He's on Twitter. We'll get all that information to you. This is an interesting gentleman. He talks a lot about fitness. He's probably one of the best shaped referees I've ever seen. I mean that. Usually the referees are different. Not you stand out. So I have a question for you.
Shoot.
When you first got into refereeing, did you decide to become a referee first, or did you go down, I want to be a wrestler route and then became a referee? How did that come about? First of all, who trained you?
Okay, so Bob Taylor and John Schuyler were my trainers, and I've had additional training from Gangrel, Dr. Tom Pritchard, Nigel McGuinness, Les Thatcher. I've taken a lot of seminars to help kind of hone my skill set there. And
cool.
Yeah, so I'm always wanting to learn as much as I possibly can.
Right, you still go to seminars
whenever I can, yeah, and I'll pick the brains of any talent that's out there just to kind of get their perspectives and see what I can absorb, if you will.
Right, so you probably learned a lot from Robert and Justin King. They're definitely what would you call? They work with you, colleagues of yours.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They're actually pretty good.
They are very, very, very talented.
NWA has a talented roster of referees. I have noticed that's one thing that does stand out. And in the NWA, the history of the NWA, they've always had the best referees, you know. And I mean, I'm not just saying that because I'm biased. So back to the question: when you first got into refereeing, was it a dream of yours to become a referee? Probably a dream to be part of wrestling. Were you supposed to be a wrestler? How did that work out for you?
Yeah, so it's actually a really interesting story because, I've been a wrestling fan since I was a little kid. And just like I think any little boy out there wants to be a wrestler. But growing up in high school when I was, 130 pounds soaking wet, 5'6", it just never comprehends that, like, yeah, you're going to be able to be a wrestler. But I own my own massage therapy company, and I was actually at the 2008 Olympics with the women's national soccer team, and the doctor that was there just became a doctor with WWE. And so he had told me that anytime he was in the area, he'd use me as a massage therapist. Well, we worked together a couple of times and then kind of stepped away from doing that. And I really wanted to get back into doing wrestling. So one of my mentors with massage therapy referred me to a local wrestler here in Charleston, who then referred me to the promotion that's here locally, Old School Championship Wrestling.
What is it called?
I had Old School Championship Wrestling out of Charleston, South Carolina. And at first, honestly, all I wanted to do was sponsor the promotion and provide massage therapy. But they had this idea to run an angle with my buddy Pete, who's the one who brought me into all this, because he was going to go for one of their straps, and they wanted to just have this kind of story. But in South Carolina, you have to be licensed to be within 6 feet of the ring. So I actually had to go through training. They organized it so that I could go through the training just to make sure that I was safe and if I took any bumps or anything. And then my trainer, Bob Keller, said, you actually have some athleticism. So you ever thought about becoming a referee? And I was like, well, sure, why not? And so I refed for a short period of time and then expanded into wrestling, where I wrestled for about a year and a half. I think I had about 38, 39 matches. Then I separated my shoulder, which made me kind of rethink what I really wanted to do, because massage therapy is my bread and butter. Wrestling's great, but it's, let's be honest, it's not going to pay it's not going to pay for this house. So
right, no doubt. So can you find your old matches on YouTube?
I know that you can definitely find one of them, and it's my very first match, and it's absolutely wretched, but it's Chaz Valor versus Tracer X.
Oh, I love it. I'm going to look that up.
Yeah,
that's an interesting story. So that happens, and then what next?
So I had to make a decision, like, I mean, first and foremost, I really thought I was going to be out of wrestling altogether because it was a pretty significant injury. Luckily, I didn't need surgery. But I was diligent. I rehabbed as much as I could. Shoulder is better than it ever was. And I really just decided, hey, I'm going to put all my chips in on refereeing because I felt like as an individual, I could add more value to a show as a referee than I ever could as a wrestler. So, I just didn't want to spread myself too thin. And that's where like I really started to refocus myself, really started studying refereeing on all different dimensions and really just kind of push into it.
Right. Where do you grow up?
So I was born in West Palm Beach, Florida, and I lived there till I was 5. Moved here to Charleston, South Carolina when I was 5 until I was 13. Then we lived in Japan for 3 years, and then I moved back here. My dad was military, so I got a chance to.
I was stationed in North Charleston.
Okay, right on. Yeah, so like
the Navy base.
Yeah, I go by there all the time.
Yep. Yeah, that's actually a nuclear base. People don't know that. Yep. But I was stationed there for 4 years, three and a half years.
Fantastic, man. Thank you for service. I appreciate it.
Oh no, it's all good. Back in the day, 2000s, early 2000s, I was there 2001 to the middle of 2004. Charleston, I love that place. I miss that mall. When you walked in, they used to have a TGIF right there. Back in the day, I loved that mall.
Yeah.
Time at that mall. I would go in there to look for St. Louis Cardinal hats. Matter of fact, you have that accent. That's why I asked.
I got you.
Right. So I'm from St. Louis. I first got wind of you at Wrestling at the Chase. I'm not really. People don't. I go to 100 shows or more a year. You know what I mean? So it's what I do. And so, like, to catch my eye, and I'm not trying to be conceited, but somebody that's there 100 times a year, some things can be looked over because you've seen that it's happened. It's something almost has to stand out for me to notice you. You know what I mean? You stood out right away. First person I seen live in the NWA when it re came back, when I walked through those doors at Wrestling at the Chase was Sal Renaro. Then I seen, I love Sal.
I say great guy.
Great guy, dude. I talk to him quite often, not anymore as much. I'm so busy, but I used to talk to Sal all the time. Actually, he'd give me good advice. Who else? And I walked in, and what's his name? Kyle Richards. Is that his name?
Kyle Davis.
Kyle Davis, the announcer.
Yes,
I seen him, and then there you were. I saw you. I said, "That's a referee." You know what I mean? And that was pretty cool. And I just remember because you reffed Empower and NWA 73.
I did not referee at Empower. We did utilize all female referees for Empower. But I did do some of the pre-tape.
Okay, there you go. You see what I mean? Everybody knows who I am. The Dr. Stinson, Gary, and all them. They know who I am. I was there. You look at the tapes, you see me everywhere. I'm the guy that got Trevor Murdoch to get up on the table at Empower when he was having his thing with Nick Aldis, and I did that. And go back and look. And so I was there, and you see what I'm saying? I didn't realize that was all females refereeing. Now that I think about it, you're right. There was even an old school lady that from back in the day that was there.
Claudia the Claw. Claudia the Claw.
I was trying to remember her name, dude. Thank you for that.
No problem.
Was she semi-retired? Did you guys pull her out of retirement?
I don't know the full story on that. I just know that she had a good connection with Mickie James, and that's why it all got pulled in there.
Oh, for sure.
She's been around for a while.
Mickie James, Professional Wrestler of the Year. Maybe.
Absolutely.
I'm dead serious. And maybe even for 2022 as well. Holy crap. What a great way to start. I'm not trying to, it's almost time, but I'm a homer, but I'm hoping they say Nick Aldis and Trevor Murdoch are entering the 2022 Royal Rumble. I'm getting ready to turn on my TV. I never watch WWE. I will be buying a ticket tonight if they say, I think I'm going to buy a ticket because they announced Mickie James. If they announce Trevor Murdoch, and I'm saying this before we're all shows tonight, if they announce Trevor Murdoch and Nick Aldis, I am going to jump through the roof.
That will definitely be awesome. And, it's funny, as contrived and as generic as that term of the forbidden door has been, I think it's evolution of wrestling. I should say it's re-evolution of wrestling.
Yes.
It used to be territories and it used to be crossovers to try to bring attention. And I never understood why it got separated, but it's really cool to see that companies are able to work with one another and bring fresh eyes and something new to the table.
Independent promotions are starting to work together too now.
Absolutely.
Have you noticed that?
I have, absolutely.
Like more in the past year and a half, like they use each other's talent. And I'm talking about within 25 miles of each other.
Yeah.
And that was the rule, the 25-mile rule. But they're starting to do it. You know what I mean? You still got your old school carnies that live by the old school rules. There's a few of them, but minds are starting to open up. You know what I mean? And I hate to say it, but I think Mickie James is the reason why, bro.
It could very well be. It's just
where do you connect it all to?
Yeah.
She's the Kevin Bacon of all the doors being opened.
That's a good way to put it. That's definitely a good way to put it.
Right. It all leads back to her. And how awesome is it to work with Nick Aldis?
It's funny that you say that because it wasn't until the last loop that I got an opportunity to work hand in hand with Nick. I've been in the locker room with him. I've been in production meetings with him, exchange pleasantries, but I never actually got to work a match. So this past loop, when I got to work with him and Doug Williams as the British Invasion.
Love it.
It's great. It's great, man. He's solid professional. And it's so nice to see somebody who has a very, very, very genuine passion for professional wrestling and storytelling. And just because that's, a lot of people make fun of me here locally because I am very, very old school with the type of wrestling that I like.
The old storytelling. You do it in the ring.
Yeah.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but you do it in the ring and you can sell. You're the type of referee that I like from back in the day that you're part of the story. And some promoters don't want that, but fans do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's part of the story on everything that gets reffed by her? Aubrey from AEW.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah.
Perfect example.
So, it's funny because I am very old school. I am very storytelling. And my trainer, Bob Keller, has always talked to me about wanting to make sure that just as a wrestler will tell a story and it builds throughout the match, that so does the referee, because we're the ones that actually have to exchange the information and translate it for the crowd sometimes because they don't see what's going on. So I do take that very, very seriously.
Right. And you know who else did that really well? I can't think of his name. He's famous. Little Ric Flair for WCW.
Oh, Charles Robinson.
He was the best.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's how you kind of remind me of him. Not the look, you're definitely the muscular one, but you definitely have that style, dude. And that's a compliment. You know what I mean?
No, I appreciate it very much.
And I've been to a lot of independent shows. What was your first promotion you started with?
My trainer, Bob Keller, has a promotion called WrestleForce. And that was actually my very first, trying to remember the date. Not that it really matters, but it was about 7 years ago.
That's what I was going to ask.
I can remember the two people who were in it. And it was,
who are they?
Mad Dog Josh Powers and the Party Manimal Zane Riley. And
there
it was kind of a comedy match. And they even put a spot in there for me, which kind of, weirded me out because here I am, my very first match, and everything went smooth. It was great. I absolutely loved it.
They wanted to see if you do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I did. And that's the thing is like, both of those guys are professionals, but like Zane Riley has been all around the world and he understands psychology. And he's one of those ones that if he wouldn't ask you to do it, if he didn't know that you could do it, that type of deal. And that meant a lot to me for that first night.
I apologize. I'm sneaking and eating, but man, I've been working all day and I apologize.
Oh, no problem, man. No problem. You're good.
So I own a couple businesses. I'm on eBay. I have a wrestling agency. I'm starting a wrestling promotion. So there's a lot of things going on with me. So
I understand the feeling, man.
Right. And you too. I know that. I watch you on Twitter. My wife made me dinner tonight and I was so happy about that. She's a radiologist and she worked 11 hours today and still made me dinner.
Oh, wow.
That was nice.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Very nice of her. Like we don't get a chance to do much of anything anymore because we're both super focused and I'm 40, she's 30 in her 30s, but we've been together 20 years. So wow.
Right on, man.
We're doing together strong. So you need that power. Are you married, girlfriend, anything like that?
No, no, no. Me and my wife been married now for almost 8 years. We've been together for 13. Um,
And that's
I've
why you're
got
successful.
Yeah, and I've got two stepsons, 26 and 23. So,
Wow.
yeah, life's good, man.
No, that's why you're successful, brother. I always said, and it's so cliche. Every successful man needs a successful woman, but it's true.
Absolutely,
But it's
absolutely.
true. If your woman isn't a good money saver, a good person to bring you to reality, us men we'd be broke and we'd be everywhere. We wouldn't have no focus, would we?
Yeah,
So
that's
I'm
right.
able to do everything because of her. So shout out to my wife. So
Awesome.
after that, you were like, I'm gonna keep doing this, and you have a shoot job. You probably still have a shoot job to this day, correct?
3 of them.
Yeah,
Actually, 4 of them. Yeah.
Exactly. And so you're a hustler too, certified approved. Like I love everybody that puts themselves out there. You have a lot of lazy wrestlers, commentators, referees. I'm a professional wrestler. Most of those guys that they don't do the Twitter, they don't do the Facebook, they don't put themselves out there on social media. They want the social media department to do everything for them. They want, why am I not being used? Well, you only got 800 followers. You know what I mean? And so they don't get it. But what I see about you, man, is you're constantly out there, constantly out there, constantly out there. And I love that, you know, and
Well, I appreciate it.
that's what you got to be. And so after you left the trainer, like you're always like, I sent you something earlier today. I seen you and I said, is that Jarrod? I'm always watching wrestling matches.
Yeah.
And you were refereeing. What was that? Do you remember what I said?
I think it was old school championship wrestling. I want to say it was Priscilla Kelly versus.
Yes.
I want to say maybe it was Savannah Evans. I can't remember. I remember the match. I just can't remember everybody that was there.
That was so great. How much have you improved since then?
Oh, tremendous, man. I mean, every single day I'm improving.
Yes, you have.
There's tweaks that, even to this day. And that's one thing that when I help other referees, other people that are becoming referees, I tell them, don't be afraid to get critiques, and don't be afraid to ask the wrestlers and ask the promoters and ask any other person that's there, hey, what do you think? What could I improve on? That type of deal. And so, I try to make sure that anytime I come through the curtain, what do you guys think? Was there anything that you felt like something was wrong? And I may not agree with that person as far as my psychology goes, but if I hear it, maybe in the next time I'm in your match, maybe I'll tweak it just for you, just so that you feel a little bit more comfortable in the ring. Because when everybody feels more comfortable in the ring, then everybody works better in the ring. So
right. And so I take it sometimes, and I can tell the answer already. Sometimes there's certain wrestlers that's the general in the ring that runs the show in the ring.
Oh yeah.
But I think you've been a general most of the time when you're in the ring, haven't you?
I wouldn't necessarily. I mean, like a lot of the people that I help train, because now that I am where I am, I go back to the school that I went to and I help train here and there. And when I get the opportunity to work with a lot of guys that are coming up in the ranks, I'll definitely, help dictate. If I hear the crowd saying something, I'll relay that information to them. Or maybe they're not looking at the hard cam, I'll move them around. Or, maybe something just makes a little bit more sense to me. So I'll call it in the ring for them. And if they hear me and they do it, great. If not, hey, next time, listen up.
No.
But for the most part, I mean, we as referees play a vital role, an essential role in making sure that communication is key in the ring. So, that's a responsibility all on its own.
Right. I see that a lot on other networks where the referees, even in these big promotion billion-dollar programs, they're still whispering stuff in these guys' ears, and you know what they're doing. You know what I mean? Did you hear me?
I just got back on. I don't know what you could hear.
Saying what you were saying, and then I said, to this day, you still see in these billion-dollar companies referees whispering. They'll get down and they'll whisper in the wrestler's ear. They'll point. They'll even give signals. So to this day, some referees are still generals even at that level. You know what I mean?
Sorry.
No, I can hear you. Stick with us, guys. Just some technical issues here. You there?
Yeah, I am now. I
Right.
guess there's
It's all good.
issue.
And so you're everywhere now. So you're going to be in Nashville after what's coming up is Empower Trip in Oak Grove, Kentucky. I'm looking forward to that. I've seen you on NWA USA, NWA Power for the past year and a half, couple years. How are you liking this?
Dude, I absolutely love it. It's such a family environment in that locker room, and everybody's there to work and make wrestling awesome. And there's, oftentimes you can run into some egos in the wrestling world, and I just don't find that in NWA in that locker room. We're all in it for the same vision. Billy Corgan has a tremendous vision, and we all want to make that vision a reality.
I'm glad to hear that.
And I love, a lot of people say they don't really like the studio setting and the pre-tapes and all that. But for me, because I work so much, it's so great. I can go away for a weekend and come back and go right back to my job, and I can be with my family, and I don't have to be on the road, 300 days out of the year. So.
No, it's perfect. So I started out with a studio company, SICW. They did the same thing. They have a live show, and then the next day they would tape for 4 weeks. And then you didn't have to come back for a month. You were getting paid for a whole month. So it was beautiful. So I understand that. The TV taping is the way to go. I do now. I'm like I said, I'm independent. I'm getting ready to start my own promotion. So that's a little different. But I'm trying to play with the big boys now. Not the big boys, just, local big boys. And that's big enough. If I could draw 500-600 people, I'll be happy. I'm not trying to look to get rich. You know what I mean? I drew 1,600 people the last in October.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and independent scene. I got pictures and all that. It was at Spooktacular. So yeah, that was good. But so I think I have a natural born fit for it. So we'll see. And I'll do all the self-promoting for my company myself. I don't need nobody to promote the company because nobody drives the car like you. Nobody drives your car like you drive your car.
That's right.
So I don't. If a wrestler or a performer doesn't want to do their social media, as long as they're good in that ring, I got your back.
Perfect.
Right. I just need the talent. I've got some talent actually, but I'm always looking for more. What's going on with you? I see your shirt, Avocare. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So, like I said, I run 3 different businesses. One being a massage therapy business. I've been a massage therapist in the sports realm for 18 and a half years now. So I've been
you don't even look this old, dude.
I turned 40 in March. So
okay, we're on the same path.
Yeah. So I do that. And then I'm a certified personal trainer and have a certificate in sports nutrition. So I jumped into the world of supplements with a company called Advocare that I personally believe heavily in. And I've been working with them now 7.5 years, about the same time I've been doing wrestling. So I do that. Go on
website, advocare.com.
Yeah, actually, I will send you over my personal website because there's a prefix at the end of it, and then you can feel free to share that in the comments or below or whatever it is. But it's a specific one because Advocare you can't go to Advocare and just buy straight from Advocare. It's always going to go through a distributor.
You're a distributor.
Yes, sir.
Right. And we have to get to the right person. And NWA fam, we want to support the right person. So don't just be going to advocare.com.
Thank you.
Wait for I show you the link.
Yeah. And you guys, I tell everybody all the time on social media, if you ever have any questions about anything that you see that I do, I'm an open book, man. Shoot me a DM, shoot a comment. I don't care. I'll answer whatever I can, whenever I can. But in addition to all that too, I'm actually a teacher for the American Massage Therapy Association. I teach the sports massage to up and coming massage therapists. And I'm actually about to teach the next breed of teachers. So I'm really excited about that. I'll head out to San Antonio.
Now that's cool. That's cool. You're like the master, like the master barber, the barber. Yeah. You're like the master teaching the teachers. I love that.
Yeah, and I'm really excited to do that. And then my next step, because I'm going to step away from massage therapy. I've been doing it for almost 20 years. It's physically demanding, and I feel like there's a higher calling for me. And so I'm working on a program, what I'm calling progressive coaching, which is similar to life coaching. You know, it's looking at people and what they want and how to take more of a organized and subtle approach to it, so you don't feel so overwhelmed. Because I'm one of those people that when I look at something, I'm like, oh my God, this is a lot of crap to have to do and a lot of crap to have to be responsible. And sometimes that's not the easiest, you know, like the average Joe is not going to be able to sit down and write all their goals and all their deadlines. And then they're going to miss their deadlines and they're going to get, you know, they're going to crap on their dreams and all that. So like, I want
no self-motivation.
Exactly. You know, I didn't have a life coach. I didn't have anybody to, you know, hold my hand along the progress of what I've done with my personal development. So, but I found these little tweaks that really, really, really helped me out. And so I want to kind of organize that and put it into a platform where somebody can purchase it online. And then after they've watched the program and taken part in that, if they want to do like one-on-one sessions, we can do one-on-one sessions. But it's just a different way to get out there. So
I'll sign up.
Awesome, man.
I'm not joking.
No, man. It's about two years away, probably a year and a half to 2 years away before I get in.
I'll be watching for it.
All right. Keep your eyes open, man. I'm excited for
it. One of your bosses, we'll say he's your main boss right now in the wrestling world because he's the man, is William Patrick Corgan, Billy Corgan. How the heck is it working for him? First of all, what was your first experience meeting him? You seem like you might have listened to his music. I'm not sure. You knew
absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. I mean, you knew who he
grew
was.
Up with it.
So how was the first meeting, and then how's it been since?
So, you know, he's an artist and he's a visionary and he's, you know, laser focused. So, you know, hey, how are you doing? Shaking hand, you know, I'm the new referee. Simple as that. And then, you know,
and he's still thinking about what's going on next. I already know. I've talked to him.
And it wasn't honestly until after the pandemic when we first started getting back into the swing of things that I think he finally realized that, because, you know, it was Brian Hebner and Robert King at first. And now, you know, Brian Hebner stepped away and Robert King took the space, and Robert King brought me in and made sure. And so I think once he finally realized that, you know, I'm not just a interim type of referee, and that I add a lot of value to it because I'm at the production meetings. Yep. And, you know, he's been great. You know, he's been great. And he understands my style. He understands who I am. So, you know, like he's in that vision. He sees certain things for certain matches. So, and I appreciate that. You know, I really do. It's just, it's still very surreal to be like, oh shit. Like,
right.
My boss is Billy.
Right. Corgan. Billy Corgan. No, for real, dude. Everybody I've talked to has said the same thing. Like, my boss is Billy Corgan. Yep. That's amazing. Trippy. Right. So what was your first pay-per-view that you ever did?
It was the first NWA pay-per-view of the Lightning One era, which was Into the Fire. And funny story about that. I don't know how many people remember who listened to this. Maureen, who used to be in charge of all the talent relations. She was actually a friend of mine from the Southeast wrestling world. And I had messaged her when Power first started. I sent her a message. Who do I need to talk to? Where do I send my resume? You know, all that. She goes, you know, honestly, we got no space for you right now. Well, come November of 2019, is that right? November 2019, I think it was. I got the call. She said, hey, can you come in? We want to actually use you for the pay-per-view as just a massage therapist. If you can bring your massage chair and everything. I'm like, cool, totally down for that. And then we'll give you some tryout matches in the power taping. So I was like, okay, fantastic. Awesome. And I get there and I set up my chair. And, you know, when I go in the locker room, I don't know if you see me walking around or not. I like to dress up. You know, I wear a suit. You know, I respect wrestling. I respect wrestling. So like, I want to convey that. But I just showed up in my work gear as a massage therapist, you know, khaki pants and a nice polo shirt, you know, and I'm back there and hanging out, you know, chit chatting with a couple of people. And she comes up to me, she goes, hey, do you have your gear? And I'm like, yeah, you told me I've got matches tomorrow. She's like, no, you're going to be working tonight. And I was like, oh, So I've never worked with this company before, don't know these people at all. And they put me with Thunder Rosa and Tasha Steeles. And so that was a hell of a match to get started on.
First time ever reffing Thunder Rosa?
Yep. First time refereeing her, first time refereeing for the NWA. You know, it was all very, very surreal. And it's funny because I came into the back and I made sure that they were okay and they liked the match. And I asked Robert King, who was standing right there, I said, how was it? He goes, you were nervous as hell, weren't you? I was like, yes, I was.
Oh, I was going to ask you. I mean, if you said no, I would have been like, yeah, right.
Yeah, no, you know, I mean, because here's my outlook on being a referee or working with any type of wrestling promotion. I don't care if it's NWA. I don't care if it's the promotion around the corner. I don't want your product to look bad, right? And
right.
Everybody has a vision. And if I don't know what that vision is, I can't compliment that. So I hadn't had an opportunity to really talk to anybody or really get the input and figure out, you know, what do they need me to be more involved? Do they need me to be less involved or whatever? So I was really nervous, but it ended up working out great. And I had a blast with it. And so, yeah, so that was my first run.
I've seen you quite a bit myself. So what would be the biggest match you've refereed? I mean, you can say it. It's your career. What's the biggest match you refereed in NWA so far?
It has to be the most recent one, Hard Times 2, where it was the World Heavyweight Championship match. And I mean, that was on my bucket list to do. And, you know, when Robert told me, he's like, when he told me, I was just like, sweet, you know, like it meant a lot, you know, and
yeah, because that's usually held for the chief referee, the top guy.
For the most part, you know, and you know, the thing is that me and Robert and Scott, we look at each other as equals. You know, yeah, Robert's had a long lineage with Billy working at Resistance Pro all the way up to NWA. So yeah, he rightfully deserves the quote head referee, but he doesn't like that term, and I don't like that term either. You know, we're a family, we work together, you know, and
right.
I've been one of those people that, just like certain wrestlers should work with other wrestlers because of, you know, certain talents and everything, certain referees should work in certain matches because of their skill set. Maybe they're faster, maybe they're more agile, maybe they're more vocal. You know, put a smaller referee in with these big guys and it makes them even look even bigger, you know, little things like that. So, you know, it hasn't been one of those things where, okay, you know, these matches are just reserved for these people type of deal. It's just like, let's share the wealth, you know, with one another.
I love it.
Great.
No, I love it. And you're all getting recognition that you deserve. NWA is, to me, getting ready to be a major player. It has been. It didn't go away during the pandemic when it could. Everybody complained because it went up through a paywall on Fight. I subscribe. I love the paywall. It helped Billy keep it afloat. He's not a billionaire. Yes, he's a millionaire, but there's a huge difference in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A huge difference. And for him to keep it afloat, I love it. And I swear to you, 2022, the world is going to be set on fire by the NWA. I see it happening. I'm a smart wrestling fan. I know what's coming a little bit. I know what's in March in Nashville. People been wanting to talk about it. Crockett Cup. We don't need to talk about that. Power Trip's coming up in Oak Grove, Kentucky, February 12th. I got my ticket for that. NWA's on fire, man. Trevor Murdoch went against Attila Khan and Gangrel. Mike Knox, he's looking to go up against Matt Cardona. I hear some rumors that Bully Ray and Eddie Kingston might want a shot at the NWA title. Right.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I've heard some rumors. So they're being hush about it, but the last real heel left in the world of wrestling that you love to hate is Bully Ray.
Oh, he's
if Bully
genius.
Ray came in with Trevor Murdoch, forget about it. You think Matt Cardona made some noise?
Yeah,
that, my friend, will make some noise.
Absolutely, you know? Absolutely.
Right. I really believe so. And then Eddie Kingston, back to back. Let's go.
Oh.
I'm with it. So Nick Aldis, to me, not just the Lightning One era, he's the #1 world champion of all time. If we want to go to that era, that's easy. That we can easily not have an argument and say that. But in the history of the NWA, I have Nick Aldis as #4 all-time world champion for what he did for the NWA and the Lightning One era so far. He just recently renewed his contract for another year. So I hope to see him regain the championship. Do you agree? You probably don't agree. You probably do agree. But Nick Aldis held this company on his back during the pandemic for a long, long time. He was an ambassador. He traveled, went to China, went to the UK.
Yep.
He went everywhere, man. While everybody else was complaining about not getting booked, this dude seemed to be filled up every week. You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
so even places where you couldn't wrestle, he was somehow wrestling there, you know?
Yep.
And so I put him up there as number 4, man. I'm not joking. I put Harley Race number 1. I put Harley Race number 1. I put Ric Flair number 2, Luthez number 3, and then I put Nick Aldis number 4.
I think that's a respectable list. I think it's,
right.
Absolutely.
I'm from St. Louis, so Harley Race is my guy. You know what I mean? Around here, dude, in the St. Louis circuit, you can't find a wrestler that wasn't trained by Harley Race.
Right.
There's There's a tag team. These kids are 21 years old. They're the tag team champions of Glory Pro Wrestling, where Tootie Lynn wrestles. Locally here. She's the Central States female champion, the first one ever. That's beautiful.
Awesome.
These 2 dudes are 21 years old. They were trained by Harley Race. Think about that.
Jeez.
Think about that.
God, man.
You know what I'm saying? They're 21 years old. St. Louis could put on a 15 match, all Harley Race trained referee, announcer, manager, and wrestler.
That's fantastic. Fantastic, man.
And I think it's going to happen very soon, actually. And I think somehow the NWA needs to be involved with that. They almost did it December 1st when Attila Khan took on Trevor Murdoch in St. Louis. They had a bunch of NWA people, but it wasn't. I mean, they had a bunch of Harley Race people. Out of the 12 wrestlers, 8 of them were Harley Race trained. You know what I mean? So they almost did it. I think the perfect thing that Billy Corgan can do is come out with a Harley Race memorial or a Harley Race. There's too many trophies. Trophies don't belong in wrestling. The Crockett Cup's beautiful and everything. That's the only reason why that trophy means anything to me. Trophies don't belong in wrestling. But if he came up with an award, Harley Race Wrestler of the Year, I really believe Harley Race needs to be recognized by the NWA. I get what they're doing, and they have recognized them with Trevor versus Attila, Trevor versus Nick Aldis. I get that. But I'm on the feeling of pushing. They need an award. They need something. Like, they need to come back with the NWA Hall of Fame. Something.
I mean, you never know. I mean, that's the greatest thing about Billy's vision is he has a lot of respect for the history of NWA.
Yes, he does.
What Sam Muchnick did and everything that there is to be about NWA, and he's paying a sincere homage to it. You know, bringing the original Burke back. I mean, that
was huge.
That was fantastic.
Inside of the Chase. That was so huge.
Absolutely.
So, huge.
So, you know, you never know with what they've got going on, you know, and
I heard rumor that they're going to be back NWA 74 back in the Chase.
I wouldn't doubt it. You know, me and a couple of people were talking about that, and just to, you know, how WrestleMania first started with the whole like Madison
the first
Square
2
Garden.
WrestleManias were in St. Louis. The build-up was,
you know, but you know, like there's always something notable, and I think it would be absolutely respectful, you know, and if
a good way to pay St. Louis homage.
Yeah, and if it gets too big, I feel like even having that scarcity principle to be like, hey, there's only this amount of tickets, you know, sorry, that's it. That's all you want. You know, we don't need giant stadiums.
No, you don't leave it. You know what I mean? You keep it. You know what I'm saying? And in NWA 75, 76, 77, it always should be there. Okay, so we're gotten this big. The $25 ticket now becomes a $100 ticket. We could fix the problem. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's mathematical. It's very easy to fix. We sold 4 tickets today to that one guy because we're that big now. You know? So I love it. You know what I mean? It's happening. It will happen. And I'll pay $100 to go to NWA 74. I'm here to tell you that.
Man. I love it.
I was there. I'll go. They know I'll go. I travel to every event, so I'll be there.
Awesome, no, we appreciate it.
Oh yeah. And the NWA shows it a lot to me. You're like my 8th guy. I've only started interviewing people for the past like month and a half, and you're my 8th guy from the NWA. I feel like that's really amazing. You know what I mean? Man. Yeah.
Awesome,
the other podcasters are asking me like, "How are you doing this?" I said, "I ask them."
Hey, if you don't ask, you already know the answer, right? You know.
Right. You close my mouth, get fed where I'm from.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, everybody's got, you know, limited time with what we can and can't do, and you know, first come, first serve. You know.
Exactly right. And so some people are scared, and people that listen to me, I got some competitors that watch. Be more out there. Like, don't just talk about the big companies. Like, that's old. Like, I built my brand off independent wrestling and the NWA. I'm growing with a company that's growing. That's how you do it in this industry. If you want to go jump on the WW bandwagon, the AE bandwagon, or any other bandwagon that has 3 letters with a billionaire behind it, you're not original. If you want to grow
very true.
successful in this business, talk about your local independent scene, travel that circuit, jump on board with the NWA, jump on board with somebody that's bigger in your, I'll never say any other company besides the NWA. That's all I care about. But there's other ones out there. If you want to jump on a mid-major, I like to call them junior colleges, mid-majors, and majors. That's how I can the wrestling industry. The junior colleges, to me, the junior college is your local territory. The mid-majors is your MLWs, your Mission Pros, and stuff like that. And then your majors, NWA, WW, and AE, stuff like that. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. You know, to me, I grew up in St. Louis. It was the Von Erichs, WCCW, Fritz Von Erichs territory, and all them boys. Right. And the NWA. That's all it was.
Yeah.
Wrestling at the Chase every Sunday. Channel 11. People don't know this. There was 2 Wrestling at the Chase shows in the end for the final years, because Sam Munchnick, when he sold it, so a group of guys, Harley Race, Larry Matisick, the original announcer, and all them boys went off and did theirs, Wrestling at the Chase. So you had your Channel 11 Wrestling at the Chase that was being taped, and then you had another Wrestling at the Chase. People were so confused, they thought it was all one. You know what I mean? So that was a big...
It's a great history.
But it's coming back. I think wrestling is at an all-time high in interest. And what's funny is the ratings are falling for the majors. And I'll get off here. But you know what's not falling is the ticket sales in the indies and the ticket sales in the NWA. And the more fans that you guys are getting daily, you just gained 6,000 fans on your guys' YouTube page, NWA, over on YouTube. Go over there, click and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. They go live every Monday, called NWA Weekly. They'll talk about NWA USA and NWA Power with the Bearded Trio. Go over there and check them out. You guys are growing. The independent scene is growing. That, to me, tells me that old school wrestling is back, and there's still a story to be told.
Love it. Yep.
There's still a story to be told.
What's old is new again.
You got it. You got it, my man. What's your social media? I know you're a busy man and you got things to do. Hit up, where can people find you?
So on Facebook, it's Jarod C. Fritz LMT. On Twitter, it's at JFritzRefLife. And on Instagram and on TikTok, it's just Jarod.Fritz. Super simple, super easy.
And the next time people will see you on the NWA level is in March at the Crockett Cup. We've been waiting for it. And I will hope that you will convince them to start a female Crockett Cup. We could call it something else.
You never know. I mean, you never know. So we'll see.
And can you somehow try to pitch the idea of getting Ross Von Erich and Marshall Von Erich, the Von Erich brothers, into the Crockett Cup?
You know, I don't have that much pull, but I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I think there's a very healthy tag team pool to pull from.
Oh, yeah. The Briscoes versus the Von Erichs would break records.
FTR, you know, like, I mean, there's
Let's do it, baby. Let's do it. I'm so excited. Those should be $100 tickets, Billy Corgan. Don't play with people's emotions. All right.
Oh, man.
You want to put a $35 tag on that product? You're out of your mind. I'm paying $100 for the back row seat, Billy Corgan, if you like it or not.
Nice, man.
And if anybody else pays less than that, you're a chum.
Right.
Crockett Cup. Are you kidding me? I'm getting ready to let you go. I don't think Crockett Cup needs to be every year. It's too special. It's too big of a thing. Every other year, so we could keep getting. You're not saying that it's going to happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen. So we could keep getting the FTRs and the Briscoes and maybe the Von Erichs. Maybe we've had the Briscoes at the last Crockett Cup.
Yep.
You can't get the same teams every year. So if you want the best teams in the business and keep the Crockett Cup special, it needs to be every other year. It doesn't need to be one that makes every year. It'll get boring. Dude, thank you for joining me. Avocare.
No problem, man. Thank you.
Everybody wants to be healthy. I know you've been going through some family stuff in the past month and a half. I'm glad to see you got a smile on your face. God bless you and your family. I hope you guys have been healthy. You're the man.
Appreciate it, my friend. Thanks so much. Have a good night, all right?
I'll see you in March.
Take care, brother.